slide. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat shelling, Dante the dark child. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
What's up, fam? It's your man, Dante the Dark Knight. Welcome to another edition of Eagles Talk here with my co-host, Pat Sandlin. All right, look, I have to do some explaining right now because we're moving into not a new format for the show, but we're going to start posting our audio podcast. Up until this point, we've been a video podcast. And when I introduce the show or tell people about the show, I tell them that we have a podcast called Eagles Talk. They automatically assume that it's an audio podcast, and they immediately go looking for a program on all the podcast platforms. I fail to mention sometimes that we're a video podcast and that you find us on YouTube or Facebook. But we're changing that. We're going to be on all of the podcast platforms. So for those that are listening for the first time, welcome to Eagles Talk. And there's some things that I have to do a little housekeeping. I'll do a little housekeeping. So on Eagles Talk, you're going to hear me refer to people, and that's our audience that's listening, because this is a live program and we have an audience that is in the chat room. So I'll be referring to these people. That's why we're the most unique Eagles cover show around, because we include you guys in the conversation. So you may be listening to this podcast and wondering, what is this name? Who was he talking about? Well, I'm talking about the people that are following us online, that are watching while this program is live on YouTube. Yes, we decided to go to the audio platform because a lot of our followers do not have the ability or the time all the time to watch us on YouTube. So this gives them an opportunity to go and listen to us in the audio form. So now you can listen to us even when we're not on live. You can just turn us on in the car. You can turn this and listen to us as you do chores around the house. And this allows you guys to hear or experience what all the other followers have already discovered, that we are the most unique Eagles cover show around, that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. So without that out of the way, Pat, let's do what we do best, and that's drink. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I have to explain that to you too.
You know what?
This is Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles cover show around, that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, and that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Don't worry if you don't drink, because if you're an adult and you drink a beverage, that's your adult beverage. Me, I don't drink, not anymore. So my adult beverage tonight is going to be the Monster Rehab. I get hyped up for the show, that's right. And Pat's adult beverage of choice tonight will be the Jack Daniels. What is that, cinnamon?
Triple mash.
Triple mash. He's doing the Jack Daniels triple mash. Oh, yeah, no sweet stuff over there. We don't have, I'm mistaking you for Shellman. Okay, all right, you're not Shellman. All right, he's doing the Jack Daniels triple mash. You guys out there in the chat room, let me know what you'll be partaking in tonight. And we'll salute to our Philadelphia Eagles down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the
Yo, what's up? Let me go and invite our third co-host, and that's you guys in the chat room. So the first person in the chat room tonight is Richard Layton, and he says, "What's up, Eagles fan? What's up, Richard? What's going on?" Second person in the chat room tonight is Daz Dante. You know I love his name. Daz Dante. Hey, Eagles fan, what's up, Don? Oh, yeah, I get to call somebody else Don for once. All right, here we go. And the third person in the room is Bill Crow. He says, "What's up? It's nice to see y'all. It's nice to be seen, Bill. It's nice to be seen." Gary is in the house. Gary says, "What's good, Dark Knight? What's good, Gary? What's up, G?" Palatero's here. Palatero says, "Go Birds." Palatero, where are you from? I'm always curious to know where everyone's from. We know we have our resident from down under, Tony Burren from Australia. We have people from South Carolina, people from D.C., people from Georgia. I'm just curious to know where you are from, Palatero. Let me know. Brad is in the house. Brad says, "Is Dean going to get a fair shake at middle linebacker?" We're going to talk about that. Let me see. And Timothy Miller says new grant out funding for 26,000. I says, okay, all right, Timothy, all right, we got you.
All right.
He's advertising a grant fund that's out there. Okay, and Gary says loving the logos. Hope to see some shirts in the store this year. Maybe even a couple of hats. That is on the way. We have a lot of exciting things planned for this upcoming season, and T-shirts are going to be one of the first things that's going to be out there. And I will guarantee that they will be out there because I'll be producing them myself. Yes, I have the equipment, and I'll be producing these T-shirts myself. So, yeah, look for that. They'll be posted on the website, on the page and all of our social media. So just look out for that. And I will have, I can't wait to get the new logo out there. I can't because that's fire right now. But
It is.
I will
I ain't
also
hold you.
have the option for the old logo also. But that new logo is going to be the first thing we're pushing. So I'm glad you inquired about that. All right, so let's get into talking about this rookie camp, man. What have you been hearing, Pat?
Uh,
How these rookies looking?
well, of course, they want to talk about our first round draft pick and Cooper DeJean. So the first thing is brought up in the media is those two, how well and how good they look as a pairing. And from that camp, the news came out. I know you heard it that they're not going to move Cooper, and he's going to be inside and outside, but most likely they're going to play him on the outside to give him the opportunity to be the outside corner. Uh, this is exciting news. That means you might have a new set of corners. It may be Slay with Cooper and Q at the outside corner, and you could switch it up interchangeable. Cooper did say he ran with not only the outside corner. They trained him in as a nickel and ran him at the safety, so those positions are available with him. But basically what that's telling me, the competition this year is going to be crazy. James Bradbury is a strong chance that he may not be here pre or post June 1st cuts. If they find a trade and they're able to get something back, a 7th round draft pick would be great. But nobody's taking that salary unless we pay a portion of that salary or the dead cap as we cut him. Um, we also signed a undrafted rookie free agent that came in for the rookie tryout. He's a cousin of Joey Porter Jr. He's from Ferris State. His name is Sean Stevens. Uh, Arguably one of the best uh, subdivision corners this year. This year, I believe he's 23 years old. He's 6'1". They said he ran in the 4.3s, which is great. And he's able to cover one-on-one. So this year, this competition with these corners that we always ask for, it's going to be stiped up. It's going to be revved up. It's going to look different. This Philadelphia Eagles defense, and I pray and I hope looks different from a secondary standpoint this year.
Well, I am very excited about this upcoming season also, and I'm very excited that there's going to be a lot of good competition at the cornerback position. But really, we are rich in that position now. I mean, it's funny how much we struggled in the secondary and giving up passing yards, and to come into this camp and be so deep with cornerbacks. I almost feel bad for the guy you just described because he's coming into I do because we just drafted 2 of the top 3 cornerbacks in the draft. We still have Darius Slay. He's still playing at a high level. And then we have the young guys from last year that showed promise, and I expect them to take a step up. Ringo and Isaiah Rodgers. This is not a good time to come to the Eagles as a cornerback. It might have been like maybe 3 years ago. This would have been a great time to come and try to make a spot here in the secondary. But right now, it's going to be tough for anyone to make this team in the secondary. We have a lot of nice young corners and veterans that it's going to be a battle, and I see it. So I am excited, but I don't think that. That's not a position I'm really worried about really this year. And it's amazing that I can say that after we had the 28th ranked passing defense last year. You
Yeah,
know
we
what
we
I'm
we 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 we, we crapped the bed on that one last year. So we wasn't a
saying?
good passing defense at all. We relied on our offense to hold the ball, score, and we didn't take the ball away. We didn't get the sacks like we did a year ago. But this year, like you said, Dark Knight, watch out. And I did see the interview today with Vic Fangio, talking
Yes.
about his style, how he's going to not just try to reinvent the wheel. If something is working and we need to stick with it, if it's not working, we need to go back to the basics. I love that philosophy. Like last year, I talked about Desai and how he came and he said he's going to make teams feel us and all this other jazz, and I was excited. I'm excited again, but this time he said he's going to hold people accountable. That is what we want to hear as Eagles fans. Hold your players accountable for their responsibilities and their shortcomings. Don't just play them because they got a big contract. If they're the best player out there, they should be playing. You got that, Bradbury?
Yeah, you're right. So Palatero, you're from L.A. and then I see PR. Hold on, I'm
Puerto
confused. Where you
Rico?
from? You from L.A. or PR? Maybe you're from PR and you live in L.A. now. All right, make it clear for me. Um, Everybody's now letting me know where they're from. So Bill Crow said he's from Jersey Shore area, but I think he's in Florida now. Gary's in Florida by way of Jersey and Temple U. Oh, that's great. So we have a lot of followers that are spread around the world, actually. They're spread around the whole world. So it's nice to know where you guys are. And now you will have the ability to listen. If you can't make the show live, it's okay. You can listen after I post the show on our podcast platforms. You'll be able to get them everywhere: Apple, Google, Spotify, all the major podcast platforms. So that'll be great. Yeah, I heard the press conference by Vic Fangio also, and I liked his no nonsense approach, and I like that he talked about basically putting these guys to work. Putting these guys to work. I don't know how that's going to work with the system that they have set up in training camp now, where they don't hit a lot. But it sounds like Vic Fangio is not having that. It looks like he's going to challenge these players in training camp. He says the players want to do more. He said the players want to do more. They want to be pushed. And so I think that he's going to push them and that they need to be pushed. This team lacked physicality last year. Let's be honest.
They
They
did.
lacked physicality, and I can't help but to blame it on the training camp philosophy. I can't help but to blame it on, walkthroughs instead of tackling drills. I can't help but blame it on things like that when you have a secondary last year that looked like they didn't want any parts of tackling the opposing team with the ball. I welcome Vic Fangio and his style of getting this team prepared to play next year, because that's one thing us as Eagles fans have always been able to hang our hats on, is a tough, solid defense. We're talking about Bud Carson and Buddy Ryan in the 90s. We're talking about Jim Johnson in the 2000s, and to see this team or this defense last year, it was to make a mockery of all the great defenses we've seen in the past. So it'll be a welcome to see a return to physical defensive football in the Midnight Green and Kelly Green.
I look forward to it. I definitely look forward to it. With drafting Q and Cooper, these guys are physical corners. They play off coverage, they play on coverage, and they actually physically tackle. They make physical tackles, not just we call them Deion Sanders tackles, so the shoestring tackles because we don't want to hit. They get in there and mix it up a little bit. I like that. I really enjoy the tape that I've seen on Cooper, because I told you I've seen him because he plays in the Big Ten. So I did see him cover our receivers when they play against Penn State. I haven't seen Q until we drafted him, and I went back and looked at some tape. He is a ball hawk. He had 4 interceptions in one game. He took 2 back for a touchdown. So he has the speed and the physicality to be an elite corner in this league if he puts in the work. That's the key term. Putting in the work. You can
Another.
get
Oh,
yeah. You can get along well with your athletic ability, but if you don't put in the work, you won't be at like a Aaron Donald or a Deion Sanders.
oh, definitely, definitely have to put that work in. And he said that he likes to he moves players around, so he likes versatile players. This is
Mhm.
Fangio I'm speaking about. Likes versatile players, so he plays them in their primary position, but he definitely moves them into other positions to see for them to get a feel and how much they can handle, to see how much they can handle, and then he utilizes them accordingly once he sees what he has in that player. So that goes along with the philosophy we've seen with the Eagles in the past. I guess about 5 years with them cross training players in the different positions. So we may see DeJohn, or
Mhm.
we call him DeJohn because that's a Philly slang. So we're not mispronouncing his last name. We're just giving him the Philly pronunciation of his last name, and he's
Yeah.
DeJohn. DeJohn. It's
He
Cooper
did say he didn't
DeJohn.
like it. He did say he
Yeah.
liked it. He said when he came here and they asked him the question, and said, "Your name is Cooper DeJohn. I mean, Gene, Cooper DeJane,
Yeah.
but you got the Philly. Now they're calling you Cooper DeJohn." He said, "You know what? I dig it. I really like it. It's a change up, but you know what? I really like it, and I really like the atmosphere that I'm coming into." And he said when he and Q went to the Sixers game, even though we lost, when he went to the
Mhm.
game, he loved that atmosphere, how the fans were so invested in their team. You know what? Listen, buddy, this is a small drink of water of what you're going to experience at the link.
Yes, that's just a sample size of what you're going to get from the link when you are winning. Let me just make that disclaimer. When
Definitely.
you are winning, because and there's no better place to play than in Philadelphia when you are winning. But I will tell you, and you can ask the players from last year, when it's not going good, you might not like it so much. And if I was to give any advice to you when it's not going good, do not, I repeat, and I'm not trying to hurt this station's ratings or anything, but when it's not going good, do not talk, do not turn on sports talk radio.
At all.
Because if you're not, I'm telling you, you have to have skin of steel to listen to Philly sports talk radio when your team is not doing good. And if you don't have skin of steel, do not turn it on, because we've seen a lot of professional players. Ooh, they just lose it. Some of them just they can't take it. We've destroyed some players from our Philly sports talk station. So I
Jane
will give
Rager
you that
and
advice,
Simmons.
especially Ben Simmons. Yes. Oh my goodness.
Marcus
So
Smith. Can I go down the line?
yes, Marcus Smith. Go down the line. Go down the line.
The
Oh,
firefighter that we don't name, Chip Kelly, most recently, actually.
oh my goodness.
I'm
Look,
sorry. I didn't mean to
so
mention
to
that name.
any advice, I'm giving advice to our rookies since
Yes,
we
sir.
wrapped up rookie camp. This advice goes out to our rookies. Matter of fact, don't even listen to sports talk radio in your first year. Just concentrate on coming in and doing your job. Concentrate on living up or making a name for yourself on this level, because we know that moving from college to the pros is yet stepping up another level. And what you accomplish on a college level might have gotten you here, but what you do on this level is going to keep you here and make and for you to make a name for yourself. So don't even turn on sports talk radio. Just put your head down, come in here and work. Getting back to Fangio though, Fangio also said he was asked about two of his defensive linemen, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis.
Mm.
And he says he likes what he sees from both of them, but they still have to, they still going to have to put in the work. And he alluded to, I can't remember the words he used exactly, but to me it translated into they've got to be ready to put the work in and for the workload that's about to come. So they're going to be pushed. And he talked about that. He said the players want to be pushed. So I'm reading between the lines, and I think that Vic is going to come in and push this defensive unit. They're not going to be soft like they were last year. They're going to be conditioned. Well, of course, they're not going to play if they're not, but they're going to be conditioned or they're not going to play. So they better be coming in ready to be pushed and ready for the long haul. So I liked, and I know this doesn't mean anything. It means a little bit more. It does. I'm about to say, I know this doesn't mean much because we heard that from Coach Desai last year. We loved his press conference and all that, but it means a little bit more to hear these things coming from Vic Fangio because he's been such a veteran of defense in the NFL for so long and has success that I really take his words to heart more than I take Desai's.
Yes, I actually I do because he has the experience, and we're talking about playing the Vic Fangio type defense all the time. You play his style. He has a tree under him of how many different defensive coordinators use his style, and what the players said from Miami, because being in Miami, you're not there to play football. You're there to get that check and sit down on the beach. The players was upset that he pushed them.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. All right,
That
look,
makes no
let's end
sense.
this quarter. Let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So I am doing the Monster Rehab. I don't have a shot glass, so I'll just take a sip because, I usually do a shot of it, but I'll just sip it out the can. And Pat is going to take the second shot of his Jack Daniels Triple Mash. Everybody let me know what you're drinking out there. I haven't gotten any posts about anybody drinking out there. I guess it's a slow night. It's Thursday. I guess everybody's taking it. Where are my Warriors? I'm only kidding. I guess everybody's taking it light. Where are my Warriors? JT, what are you talking about? There's nothing. What are you working? JT is posted. He from Washington, D.C. We know that, JT. All right, so here we go. Everybody, this is for our new listeners of the podcast that's going to be on all the audio podcast platforms. We like to drink here. So here we go. Everybody, down the hatch for our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, there you go. Now I'm starting to get something. Bet sell. Water. Take it light on that water, boy. It'll knock you out. I'm telling you, don't drink too many. Don't only drink one shot at a time of that. Don't double shot that water. I'm telling you. Remember when we said what we called it? What we call that water? We called the water
The South Carolina water.
Yeah,
The South Carolina water.
The moonshine water.
Remember the
All
show
right,
we
Richard,
did with the family reunion?
Oh yeah, oh my God. All right, for those that don't know, Pat and I are related. Pat is my cousin. So yeah, we did Eagles Talk live from our family reunion one time, and that was funny because they're from down south and they brought some of that South Carolina water, and yeah, we had a good time. So Richard is doing the Tito's and Ultralight. That's his usual. All right, so let's talk about on the offensive side of the ball because our offensive coordinator also had a press conference today. And I listened to his press conference. His wasn't. I don't think his was as informative, not to me anyway, as Vic Fangio's press conference was. But what did you take away from it?
He's still getting to learn his players. He's still getting make sure that the plays that he's developing for these players and for Jalen Hurts is putting his team in the best position possible. He has been a top-notch coordinator since he became a coordinator. Albeit he's been, a coordinator with our team we dislike, but he has ran some good plays with the opposition that we have played against. What I took from is that he is still in the learning phase of making sure he doesn't make the mistakes of our previous coordinator, and that he put his own spin on it. So I look forward to see what he does with this offense. They asked him about his motions, where you have a lot of motions, and I mean he kind of sugarcoated it, but I know he will have we have way more motions in this offense than we did last year. And from the film that the Philadelphia Eagles actually social media put out, it looks like they're going back to the RPO, which was Jalen Hurts' best year when he was exclusively using the RPO as a um, style of offense. So I'm a big fan of what's going to happen, and I hopefully it can be translate to success on the field.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard a lot of that too. What did stick out to me is that and I know it's normal, but
Mm-hmm.
you know me, I'm Dark Knight. I gotta to make it controversial. But I heard him say that he's working with Nick to blend the offenses together. Damn that blending! I don't want you to blend. Don't
It's
blend
your
shit. No,
it's
no.
your offense. Make it
Yes,
happen.
run your offense. No, don't run Nick any. Don't listen to Nick. I'm sorry. Don't listen to Nick. Nick effed that offense up last year. I'm sorry. That when Shane Steichen had the offense, was calling the plays, we looked great. When Nick calls the plays or has anything to do with it, it doesn't look the same. So Kellen, I know you're listening. Don't listen to Nick. Don't listen to your head coach. Don't listen to your boss. I'm telling you,
He
don't let
said,
him mess
"Don't
you
listen
up.
to your boss. You better listen to your boss."
Don't look if you want to stay around. Don't listen to your boss. I know that he did say that. He said that him and Nick were getting
Yeah, he did say
together
that.
and they're combining their philosophies, their plays, so to speak, their terminology. He talked a lot about his terminology and saying that it was not going to be a lot different from what was already in place, and that he's just trying to make his plays and change his terminology so that everybody is on the same page and it's a smooth transition and everybody can pick it up. So it's not a lot of confusion. It's not a lot of such a big learning curve. So I get that part of it. But
Yeah.
please do not follow Nick Sirianni's play design or calls. This is why we
We
brought you in here. We brought you in
yes.
here for a more exciting, innovative offense. Our offense was stale. Our play calling was predictable, and we don't want any of that. So, Nick is the common theme here from when the offense was bad to now. So don't listen to that. No,
Yeah,
don't listen to that.
you're 100% right. Like, Nick needs to be the Mike Tomlin of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Mm-hmm,
All
mm-hmm.
right. You know what Mike Tomlin does for his team in Western PA? He is the supervisor to make sure his employees do the proper job. He gives them a review. If you don't pass your review, you get fired.
Right. I, I, I,
That's
I
what you gotta
label
do.
that. I label those type of coaches CEO coaches. He's
Yes.
a CEO coach. He has his CFO, he has his COO,
Hmm.
and he lets them handle those legs of the corporation. So you have your DC, your OC. Nick, just be the CEO and let them handle those branches. You give them what goals you want, but keep your hands out. Keep your hands out of the pot. Go and be that motivator that you are, because Tomlin's a great leader of men. He's a great motivator. So just do that. just do that. Don't leave the. This allows you with these coordinators that you have, Nick. This allows you more time to work on your motivational speeches. So you have more speech writing time now. Now you don't have to look at X and O's. You can look at your motivating speaking.
Hmm.
Work on that. That's what we need. We need more of the roots in the ground, the flowers sprouting up and stuff like that. You can do all of that now. But whatever you do, please leave these people be and let them do what they do best, because last year was a disaster and not any of us want to see a repeat of what we saw last year. That collapse was it was traumatizing. That's the word I'm looking. That collapse was traumatizing to us
Well,
Eagles fans.
it definitely was. If you go by, Kenny Gainwell got interviewed And he was asked specifically what happened with the team and why did he have it collapse. And his words were, the connection wasn't there. It was players that were not communicating. There were people from upstairs that weren't communicating. And when that happens, you tend to take a me only attitude. And what I got from that is that certain players or certain issues that transpired during the course of the year separated the locker room. And the head coach, or not, I'm not going to say the head coach, the offense and the defensive coordinators whose responsibility to make sure that this team is part of the family didn't do their due diligence. They were either scared to do a due diligence or they weren't able to step up because they thought that the players were already on it. No, you have a responsibility as a head coach, an offensive coordinator, and a defensive coordinator, special teams coach to ensure your players are not being selfish, are playing within the scheme, are not playing me ball. And as a head coach, you have to see all three facets of this team and make sure that they're connecting. If this is one of your main principles, right? You have to make sure everyone is connecting and this team is one, not individuals.
All right, let's go to some comments out here. So let me see. Palatero says now Justin Simmons is kicking himself. Had a chance to sign with us. Why? What happened to Justin Simmons? I don't know.
Well, he's still a free agent. he's,
Oh, okay.
he's one of
Well,
the
he
top.
still
He's one of,
probably still has a opportunity to do that.
yeah, but I think we're gonna be all right. So we got a nice stable of safeties right now. Reed Blankenship, CJ, DJ. You can rotate Cooper John back there. Sidney Brown is coming back. I think we're going to be okay at safety.
All right, Cade McDonald says Hurts going to need to be a lot better this year if the Eagles are going anywhere, and that is a fact, Jack. What I do like is what you said earlier, that you see that they're returning or implementing some more RPO plays. It seemed like the RPO all but disappeared last year. I mean, don't get me wrong, you saw it at times, but there was not a heavy dosage of the RPO, and that is the offense that was run by Jalen Hurts when he had his near MVP season. So hopefully they have conferred with Jalen and that this is a collective effort in trying to get this offense on track. I know Kellen Moore I consider him a brilliant young offensive mind, but it remains to be seen how he orchestrates his offense, meaning, or his philosophy behind his offense, meaning you have those coaches who have their offense and their system, like Chip Kelly, have
Oh
their
goodness.
system, and then you have to fit into that system. They even if you don't fit that system, you've got to learn to run that system.
Yes.
In other words, they try to fit a square peg into a round hole, right? And then you have those offensive minds who realize, all right, let me see what my personnel does best. Let me see what their strengths are, and then let me adjust my offense to take advantage of what they do best. So it remains to be seen what kind of offensive coordinator Kellen Moore is. But if it's true what you're saying about the RPO and bringing that back, then maybe he's that one who will make the necessary adjustments to his offense to cater to the strengths of his personnel. I hope that's the case because Jalen was just lights out with the RPO, right? So I know you can't run it all the time. So maybe that with some of the creative, innovative play calling that Kellen Moore exhibits, if they mix those two together, I'm looking for big things on offense this year.
I'm looking for extreme big things. I'm looking for our players to actually step up and take over this NFC conference and be a beacon of looking like, yo, this is the team we need to model ourselves after. We lost two Hall of Famers, and I'm going to say Jason, and we lost Fletcher to retirement. But you have a guy who was already there, in Cam Jerkins, who's sliding to his natural position. You drafted Tyler Steen to be the next guard. It's time for him to step up Because if he doesn't step up, we got some rookies out there that will step up. The rookie from Michigan, I think his name is Keegan.
Hmm.
Yeah, his name is Keegan. Then you also have Matt Hennessy. We forget
Yeah.
Matt Hennessy was a very good player when he was with the Atlanta Falcons. So these guys, and you got Stoutland University. I hate to just put that out there.
And Stoutland
Stoutland
University. I was
University.
about to say that. I was just
So
waiting.
I really think this offense is really going to thrive, right? I really think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. Well, I'm hoping that we'll be pleasantly surprised that this offense is working on all cylinders, staying healthy. Our receivers are doing their job. Dallas Goddard is being that third option that we've been looking for. And whoever wins that third wide receiver spot is doing the job that we always wanted Quest to do. um, I really think that Saquon is going to have his best year statistically with us because all running backs tend to have their best year with us with this offensive line. And also, our the swing tackle that we have, Mekhi Becton from the Jets. He was a number one pick. It was a top 15 pick, I believe. I think he's
Hmm.
going to have a comeback year as a swing tackle, just like we did with Big V. The
Hmm.
year we went to the Super Bowl, we had Big V come in as a
Yeah.
swing tackle, and he did phenomenal things. He couldn't play the regular tackle, but when you put him in there on a swing tackle, he was pretty doggone good. So I look forward to what this offense is going to bring. I really believe we're going to run the ball a lot more than we did in previous years, and be more dynamic, be more unpredictable than we were last year.
I agree with you. I heard Plexico Barris on one of the talk shows, TV talk shows, and he said the same thing. He agrees with you that Saquon Barkley is in line to have one of his best years
Hmm.
statistically playing with us. And the biggest reason that he cited for that is that because he's not going to be the focal point. He doesn't have to carry this offense. This is going to be the first time in his career where he's not going to have to carry the offense all by himself.
Correct.
And that's going to make him more effective. And I agree with that. He is surrounded by talent on this offense.
Hmm.
And now he's not going to have to face 8-man boxes. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to have to face the line stacked against him just to stop him because you can't afford to do that with this offense. You can't do it.
Yeah,
So
you
I
can.
am in agreement that he's in line to have probably his best statistical season with the Eagles. And then you're talking about the offensive line. I totally agree with that. We have some young people coming in, and we know what Stoutland does. All you have to do is have talent.
Hmm.
If you come in here with average talent and the physical skills, then Stoutland is going to take you to the next level.
Yes, he is.
Stout is going to take you to the next level, and that's always reassuring to know that. So we have some play because I'm gonna tell you, I remember the line I used too. Big V, his first game, Big V couldn't block the sun if it was in his eyes. That's what I said then because he got murdered. He couldn't block the sun if it was in his eyes that first game. But by the end of that
Hold
year,
up, wait a minute.
Stout,
He was like this.
I remember it distinctly. I remember it, and that's the line that I use. He stunk that first game,
He
and
did.
by the end of that year, Big V was a player, and by the end of the next year, he was a valuable commodity and signed a huge contract with I think it was Detroit. I forget, but he
Yeah, it
signed a
was
nice
Detroit, yeah.
contract. So Stoutland does. He takes the average player. All you have to have, if you're average and you have the physical skills, Stout will turn you into a player. So I am happy with those, and having that type of coach, provides us the luxury, or Howie the luxury, of not having to go and get a lineman at the top of the draft, especially this year when you had more pressing needs in the secondary. So it afforded him to go get that secondary help and then get some pretty solid linemen a little later on in the
Yeah,
draft and watch Stout does, work his magic with those guys and turn them into players.
yeah, definitely. I'm gonna tell you right now, not an undrafted, but a
Well, before you start that, let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, for my first-time listeners out there in podcast land, you are listening to Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage. Yeah, we get it in the form of shots. So, man, oh my goodness, if we can go back, I wish I had a video editor that could put a collage together of our moments of being on this show and being nice. Let me say, just being nice. In other words, we were plastered. But anyway, it's such good times, such fun moments. But we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So I am doing the Monster Rehab. Pat is doing the Jack Daniels Triple Mash. We have those out there that are taking it easy, but wait till the season comes up because we know, we do our pregame show and everybody has to get ready for the pregame. But in the event, let's do this to our Philadelphia Eagles. Down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
All right, Pat, finish your thoughts.
So the most underrated draft pick this year, it's not Johnny Wilson, the 6'6" wide receiver. It's not Anaya Smith, the just shifty slot receiver from Texas A&M. It's the offensive lineman Trevor Keegan from Michigan. He is a nasty, dominant guard, and I really believe if Tyler Steen doesn't get up to par, he will be our next starting guard, and our offense will thrive with him in there because he had monster holes with Michigan. If we go back last year and look at Michigan and look how their offense was, they were run heavy. When you knew they had to run the ball, you could not stop them. That's how run dominant they were with their offensive line. And he was a key clog to enforce that offensive line to be one of the best running offenses in the NCAA last year. So I look forward to seeing what he can do in the preseason and maybe pushing for that starting spot. It is time.
And that's a great dilemma to have, right? That's a great dilemma to have people that are competing for that starting position. Because and then me, I'm not one of those people who, and I don't think that Stout is either. I'm not one of those people that play those draft politics, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because you're the second round pick, you should automatically start over. No. I'm definitely a believer in whoever is performing the best deserves to play the position. And I think Stout is too. So if Keegan is that player, or he emerges from training camp as that player that's most suitable to start at guard, then I'm confident that they'll have him in there at guard. But in any case, I think that we're going to have another year of solid offensive line play, even minus Kelsey, our Hall of Famer that just retired. So let me go to some comments right now. Brandon Ware says, I haven't been this excited to see us play since Chip Smelly first season. The way we finished last year was atrocious. Hungry dogs run faster. Here's a question from one of our biggest fans, JT. JT says, do you guys think A.J. Brown is T.O. 2.0? And also, do you think A.J. was one of the players that was not talking to other players in the locker room? I'll go first on that.
Okay.
I do think that A.J. Brown is T.O. 2.0. I think that he is, the builds are kind of similar, although A.J. is a little bit more stockier than T.O., but the ability is there.
No. I think T.O. was 230. A.J. Brown is about 212 pounds. So it was a difference.
Are you kidding me? How tall is he?
He's my height. I'm 6'1". He's about 6'1". T.O. is 6'3", 225, 230. Solid.
AJ looks solid.
He does. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say another man is husky, but he
No diddy, no diddy.
no, did he? But you know what? Compared to To, like yes, he is like the 2.0 To, and he has the ability. Not maybe a tad little slower, but he has the same ability as To, and he can be greater than To if he stays in the game and not just if he stays with Jalen Hurts and they continue to put up these phenomenal seasons, he's going to be a Hall of Fame player, point blank.
Yeah, you're right. But AJ Brown is 6'1", 226. That's pretty solid. But yeah, I like his ability, his route
Mhm.
running. He's very reminiscent of To,
Yeah,
and I think that he had his stats in his first, how many years he been in the league? 5. His
yeah, about
stats in
five
his first
years.
5 years is impressive. Is impressive, and if he continues along this lines, yeah, I could see him making it into the Hall of Fame. Let's get a Super Bowl under his belt. Let's help him out. Let's help him get into the Hall of Fame. AJ is going to be around for a little while with the extension that he signed. Devontae Smith is going to be around with the extension that he signed. Just signed Saquon. So this offensive unit should be together for at least 3 years, right? At
Yeah,
the very least 3 years. And then this climate of the NFL and free agency nowadays, that's a good amount of time. And so in these next 3 years, let's make something happen. Let's go back to the big dance. I think that all we're waiting to see, because we have no doubts, and I know we're early, we haven't even started training camp yet,
very
but
early. Yeah.
we're very early in this with me making this prediction. But
Oh
I
no,
think the
don't
only
don't
thing
do
I'm not
it.
making I'm not making
All
it
right,
right
all
now.
right.
No, I'm not going to. No, I'm not going to make a prediction. But what I am saying is that I think the only thing that we're waiting to see and get a little clearer vision on is how this defense is going to look. I don't think
Yes, yes,
anybody
yes.
has any doubts that we're solid on offense and that we're trending in the right direction on getting that straightened out, right? Our biggest question mark is we want to see how this defense is going to shape up. And I have the confidence that it's going to, well, it can't look no worse. So I have the confidence that it's going to look better than last year. But again, it can't look any worse. It can't look worse than last year. So there's nowhere else to go but up on this defense because we literally suck. We gave up 35 touchdowns through the air,
That's too much.
4,000. We gave up then 4,500 yards in the air. That's entirely too much.
That's
They've got whatever they wanted.
I can't even think that you made Baker Mayfield look like freaking Tom
Oh,
Brady.
oh, you hurting me.
I'm sorry,
You
I didn't mean to
hurting
do
me.
that.
You hurt.
My bad.
So,
I hit you with low blow. My bad.
oh,
But you know
you
what?
know it.
You're 100% right. It's only way we can only where we can go is up from here. Everybody's happy at this particular point of the off-season workouts. Everybody's working out. AJ Brown was there with the rookies. The team started working together. You saw Saquon and Jalen Hurts squatting together. Then you had a competition between Sidney Brown and Kenneth Gainwell, who can have a better grip and hold on longest through the Philadelphia social media platform. Listen, I think something I hate to say this, and this might sound like I'm siding with Howie right now, but I always side with the players. But I think the reason Hassan Reddick is gone because he might have been one of those players that started the disconnect.
Wow. Yeah, I heard something like that also. So I guess the second part, do you think AJ was one of the players that was not talking to other players in the locker room? I don't know. It's possible. You have to think, right?
I heard it was a
With
fight.
the climate last year, you're talking about very competitive dudes, number one, right?
Mhm.
You're talking about competitive guys who were experiencing a meltdown right
Yes.
before their eyes, right? These guys were in the Super Bowl the previous year. Not only that, they were 10-1 And then things started to unravel.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone has the emotional intelligence to be able to deal with that. And we might have seen some of these guys acting out because of their competitiveness, because of their lack of maturity or whatever, but it's a part of being an athlete. It's a part of being an athlete. Some players are great teammates and great players when they play from ahead, and then you have players that don't know how to play from behind. And you might have seen some acting out going on when they were in the low point of the season last year. So I don't know if it was AJ, but I wouldn't put it past him. You're looking at I said it last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at your coaches and you don't have confidence that they know what they're doing, that it's almost game over.
It
It's
is.
almost
It is.
game
It is.
over.
Definitely, it is.
They lose your respect. When you
Mm-hmm.
look at your coach and be like, yo, he don't know what the hell he doing.
Yeah,
That's not
definitely.
no.
I tell you right now, Shell could be a contestant if you could ever comes on this show. We had our defensive coordinator when we played together semi-pro football, and our defensive coordinator was calling calls, and our middle linebacker who was making the calls, Reese. He said, "I ain't calling that I ain't calling that crap. Listen, play cover one, play cover two. He made the calls. He looked at the coach, and the coach was mad at him, but the coach didn't have respect of us." And that's a real
No.
thing because if you're not in the game, you're not feeling what's happening within the game, and you're not understanding situational football, how can somebody have respect for you when it's fourth down and one, you're playing a cover three and you have your corners and everybody backing off? Like that makes absolutely no sense at all. I'm gonna be
No,
honest with you.
not any. We're going to get into some of these comments out here
Yeah, I let the
in the
comments
fourth
start.
quarter.
What up,
Let's
Reef?
let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, that's the end of the third quarter. Going into the last quarter, for those that are listening on audio on the podcast, this is what we do. We divide the show into 4 quarters, just like a real game. And you are listening to the most unique Eagles coverage show around. You're not going to find Eagle coverage like this. You're not. You're not going to find conversation like this anywhere else but Eagles Talk. So thanks for tuning in. And on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles, in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Again, I'm going to finish off this rehab. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight because this is way too late to be drinking a Monster Rehab. That's why I'm just sipping on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably be up till the morning. So Pat is doing the Jack Daniels triple mash, and you're about to see.
It's a real bottle. You saw me open it, right?
Yeah, that's a real bottle. Those were real. There was 3 real shots. This is about to be his 4th.
Yeah.
And this is usually when it gets interesting. You guys missed the draft show because the draft show was very interesting with Shell, our old co-host, joining us for the draft show. And that was enjoyable. But anyway, to our Philadelphia Eagles, down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
All right, so Palatero, and there was a comment. Let me go back to this because I like this guy too. And Palatero made it. Here we go. Anais Smith is a Yak champion.
Yeah, yes, he is.
I'm looking forward to having a slot receiver that can make a difference, and he seems to get a lot of high praise. I just listened prior to the show as a part of my homework. I listened to Steve Smith Sr. break down Anais Smith and his abilities in college and his abilities as a slot receiver, most notably. And he said that this guy is he's a good one. He's a good one. And I'm happy to have him because not only does he check the box of being a competent slot receiver, hopefully that translates to this level of football, the pro level, but he's also a dynamic return specialist, which makes Brett Covey's job, and he's in jeopardy. Although he's emerged as one of the top return people in the league, I don't think he has the explosiveness as an Anais Smith. So if Anais Smith can command that those return duties, then Brett Covey may be on his way out because he's only a one-trick pony at this point. He can't
could
make
be a
his
punt
way
returner.
into the field. Who?
He could either he's going to worry. Brent Covey. Listen. I
Nice is going to take that.
I have confidence. Last year I didn't have confidence in Brent Covey, but he was one of the leading yards per return specialists in the NFL. At one point, he was number one. So I did have I did say nah, Cuffy. He's not gonna do nothing with us. But he turned out to be actually a diamond in the rough. He caught the ball, he secured the ball. We asked him to be a real Mahe, right? Remember, all he did
Right,
was
right,
catch the ball, no matter what.
right.
He caught the ball and he made things happen after that. And at the end of the season, he was actually getting much better when he almost broke one. So it's going to be a tough hill for Anais to take that spot. I really think he's going to more or less focus on that third receiver. I know it's a crowded.
Nice is going to take that spot. I'm sorry.
Listen.
Mean,
it's
I
a crowded
don't...
wide receiver spot for that third, but I think he has the ability to be. Paris Campbell is a very good third wide receiver. Devontae Parker may be that good third receiver, but Anais Smith, if he can get up to speed with the NFL, he can be our third wide receiver. I mean, this is going to be a very interesting training camp. It's going to be very. Yeah, I can't wait.
Now, this is why my money is on Anais. And I'm not saying that he's going to be the starting slot receiver, unless he just has an outstanding camp. But he's more versatile than Brett Covey. That's what I'm saying. Anais can find himself on the field without being a punt returner. Covey cannot. The only way he's going to find himself on the field is as a punt returner. And you know how, nobody's going to pay somebody just to be a punt returner. He's not Deion Sanders. He's not Deion. He's not, Hester or anybody. You know what I mean? He's not that dude. So, he did good last year, and I give him, not discounting him working himself into one of the league's top punt returners, but that he's a one-trick pony. So if Anais Smith show any type of potential in training camp, I think Brett is out of here. I'm sorry to say that.
You might be right. Listen, you definitely might be right, because we was looking for somebody to take over that spot and be a beacon. Even though he surprised us and was actually a success for us last year, if Nice comes in and is dominant in that position, well, so be it. This is good. This training camp is not a training camp of who's our favorites. This training camp is a training camp of who is the best for the Philadelphia Eagles. Period.
Yes. All right. There's your man. Reef says,
what up, Reef?
Reef's comment says, I really like our D-line, and I think Milton Williams might have a good year seeing more playing time. Most definitely, I agree with that statement.
Yes.
I've always liked Milton Williams from his rookie year until now, and I think that he has made steady improvement in each year that he's been in the league. And I think with increased time, you're going to see even more out of Milton Williams. I really do. And you know how our defensive line, was so successful the year that we went to the Super Bowl was dynamic defensive line play. And I think we're going to get that from Jalen Carter. It's a question mark whether we get it from Jordan Davis, but we have to have a couple of those guys have to be dominant, because what made it so successful that year was that multiple people along our defensive line commanded a double team.
Yes.
And you couldn't double team all of them. So you were leaving one-on-one battles with a player that warranted double coverage. So they were eating. You know what I'm saying? So if you didn't double team Fletch and he had a one-on-one, he had the ability to get to the quarterback. If you didn't double, what's our guy name? He went to San Fran.
Javon Hargrave.
If you didn't double Javon, he had the ability to beat you one-on-one. So we had multiple people across that. If you didn't double Hassan, he would beat you one-on-one. So we had multiple people along that front that warranted double teams. They couldn't double team everybody, so we ate. So we might be in that position again this year if some of these young guys step up, I know that, and I expect that Milton Williams will be one of those guys that's going to benefit this year. Brandon Ware says they shit the bed on defense. Brandon Ware, his comment said they shit the bed on defense. The O did their job. We ranked top 10. Bradbury been put on notice. These young bucks, Mitch, DeJean, Rogers, passed the eye test. Yeah, I agree with that too. What do you say about that, Pat?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Bradbury's here after post June 1. Even if we find a trade partner and he goes to somewhere like the Toronto Argonauts, or he gets traded to like the San Diego Superchargers. Like I don't think he's going to be here for this. We got enough young guys. Keely Rangel stepped up in the last part of the season last year. You got the 2 rookies that you drafted who's going to be. I think they're going to be outstanding. Listen, if Q's not outstanding, I know DeJean is going to be outstanding. He has that pedigree. He's working now. He's going to be better than what he was last year. This camp is going to create some monsters. It's going to listen, Dark Knight. I'm trying to get us past it so we can be there, Dark Knight. We need with binoculars. Looking at that.
No,
you see Jalen Hood? What'd he do? Huh?
Because I'm gonna curse him out.
Yeah, no.
I curse him out. Like, what the hell you doing?
What the hell? They gonna shut up Ike Reese.
yeah. I always get mistaken for Ike Reese, man. I got hair though. I know. They always, black people all look alike. That's what they do. That's what they do to us dark skinned brothers. We all look alike. If we're a couple shades darker, then we all look alike. It doesn't matter. And I know we're kind of tall. We might have a similar physical build, but I got hair. He doesn't have any hair.
Dark Knight. I never realized y'all looked alike until we started doing this show, and when Tony Barron came and you met Ike Reese down at Chickies and Pete's. I'm like, damn, they could be twin brothers. But you know what? I want to put it like this: you're my cousin, so you definitely look better. You're my cousin.
All right, I'll take that. Ike might have a better, and I think I should challenge him on that. But Ike might have a better voice. I don't know. Mine's smoother. His is more raspy.
Yeah, you got that WJJZ 106.1.
All right. What other training camps or rookies that can we keep an eye on? Let me see. What are they saying out here? All right. This is a good one.
I'm gonna give you one too.
Valentero asks, will the Eagles run a 3-4 or 4-3 hybrid defense? Now, from what I can take from Fangio's press conference, he likes to be versatile.
Yes.
So he's going to run a combination of all of that. Mm-hmm. You better believe it. And he talked about the fact that he has to be flexible with his defensive schemes in this NFL today. So, he's going to have them trained up for the various formations and all, but I don't think there's going to be one over the other. I think that the situation or the team that you're playing is going to dictate what they run the most. But I think it's going to be a fluid situation where you're going to see a lot of, hybrid 3-4, 4-3. It depends on the play and the situation in the team. Yeah.
And what I learned from his press conference, he likes to blitz his nickel corner. So the nickel cornerback, Avonte Maddox, Keely Rangel,
DeJean. Cornerback DeJean.
They're gonna get some.
Can you imagine?
Yo, can you see this comment? I know you about to go to James Edfield. Before you go this one, I gotta laugh at this one before you go there. He said, "I can't wait to see Eli Ricks, Keely Rangel, Mekhi Gardner." Listen, they held it down for a little bit. I laughed at it, but they did held it down for a little bit. Eli Ricks, he might not be here after the training camp, but he did held it down for us better than James Bradbury.
Yeah, he did.
I put that one back up there tonight.
He showed a lot of fight, and that's why
this triple match.
That's probably. Yeah, I know it is. Look, this is why the most contested training camp battle coming up is going to be the secondary. It's going to be the corners. The corners is going to be the most contested training camp battle coming up. And I think it probably will be, and you guys let me know out there, what is the training camp battle that you're looking most forward to?
And linebacker.
Let me know.
Defensive tackle and linebacker. I'm telling you right now.
Linebacker. I mean, I'm looking for better linebackers, but I don't know if it's going to be.
Listen, you got three linebackers. You got three linebackers that can start, right? You got Devin White, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., everybody's talking about. N'Kobe Dean, who's going to have the green dot. Then you have off-ball linebacker in Ben Vereen. I call him Ben Samarine, whatever his name is. Oren Burks and Brandon Smith. Oren Burks is a guy that we was looking to draft, that we picked up a free agency from the Saints, who's going to be a special teams player, but he has that ability to be your outside, strong side, weak side linebacker because he's speed. So right now, the first three linebackers, Devin White, N'Kobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter, they're all 6 foot. The rest of the linebackers, they're 6'2" and above. So, I mean, depending on how they play in the preseason, that's what I'm looking for. But as far as the defensive line, you talked about Milton Williams, right? We didn't talk about Jordan Davis yet. He slimmed down. It's a good thing. We didn't talk about Jalen Carter, who may be a defense MVP guy looking for, right? PJ Mustipher, we picked up. Gabe Hall is an undrafted rookie free agent who's 6'6", 300 pounds. Moro Ojumbo, who we drafted last year, who played pretty good. And Marlon Tulupapulu, I can't say his last name.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't say his last name. I'm sorry, I'm disrespecting your last name. I can't say it. But he played very well last year.
Yeah, he did.
This is going to be a battle who takes up that mantle for Fletcher Cox, who takes up that mantle for our defensive ends. Listen, that defense is front seven. I'm looking forward to see who comes out of that.
All right, so let me clarify, because Politeri, you put down some great position battles, but I was speaking, and I'm looking forward to these also. He put down A.J. Brown versus Q.
He's going to school him. A.J. Brown's going to school him.
Versus DeJohn.
They
put down Dallas Goedert versus C.J. G.J. And they're great position. I mean, great battles you want to see in training camp. But I was talking about what position group do you think is going to be the most competitive, and you're looking forward to see who emerges? What position group? So,
position.
Like me,
wide
I think
receivers.
I think that the cornerbacks are going to be the most fierce competition.
They will, but I think the wide receivers are going to beat them in training camp.
Yeah,
I think because when you go to training camp, defense is always behind the offense. Always.
No. I'm talking about like which position is going to have the fiercest competition amongst themselves.
Corners, definitely.
Yeah, corners. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I took that differently. This is Jack Daniel triple match.
Yeah.
Like which name Richard said earlier, or I don't know who said that earlier. Like that looked dangerous. Like it is.
It is dangerous. Triple mash. Anything that says triple mash is going to be 100 proof. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember.
But you know what?
I remember one year when Shell bought that 100 proof. I don't know what it was, but
that wasn't 100 proof. That was 96
Maker's Mark. Was it?
Yeah, it was Bullet. But it was 80% alcohol by volume. This is only 50 alcohol by volume, but it's 100 proof. It's a difference.
Oh.
It's a big difference. I learned that. When you got the higher alcohol by volume, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, no doubt. So we're about to wrap it up. Yeah, because it's an hour and 11 minutes. So we're going to get out of here, but thank you guys for tuning in. And for those who may be listening for the first time on the audio podcast, come on back. We do this every week. And wait till the season starts. You're really going to have a great time. But I'm your man, Dark Knight.
Just listen to that voice.
For my co-host with the co-most, Pat Sandlin, and our co-host in absence, Nichelle Pace. We will see you guys next Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. We're out of here. Peace.